Hello. We have some very importante soundproof. I don't know why I said that. Soundproofing and acoustic treatment questions to get through today. So, hope you're ready to learn a little something. My name's Skye. I design, build, and optimize professional home studios covering audio, video, lighting, and workflow. And many times, that's including soundproofing and acoustic treatment. So, I got some hands-on experience to be able to answer some of your most pressing questions. So let's get into it. Here's the first one. Will acoustic panels help lessen sound entering my rooms? I moved into a new apartment looking to find ways to make my place quieter from outside noises. A few noisy neighbors, thin walls, a washer and dryer, all easy to hear. I was wondering, do acoustic panels help prevent noise from entering as well as getting out? And if so, what would be a good choice? I see a bunch on Amazon, foam, hexagonal, wood. Okay. So, no, they're not going to help. Acoustic panels are designed to absorb sound and frequencies inside of the room. They do little to nothing at all to prevent transmission from outside or your sound getting out. An actual solution to your problem, unfortunately, is not an easy one. So you're fighting both airborne sound and structural. The washer and dryer are likely vibrating the whole building, and that's being transferred into your room. So even dampening the sound of that, you'll still have the low frequency vibrations, and it's going to be a mess. So unless you have a large construction budget to add masks and decoupling all those vibrating surfaces, you might be out of luck, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, best of luck with those thin walls. Yeah. Next question. Using heavy curtain or tapestry for acoustics. Has anybody done this? Are there actual products for this already as an alternative to acoustic panels? Any specific types to look for? So yes, there are actual acoustic specific curtains and room dividers. So a lot of them are falsely advertised as soundproofing curtains. So they are sound dampening. They're not soundproofing, so don't let them lie to you. And it's usually, I think they advertise 10 to 12 dB or something of reduction. So don't expect them to be like a miracle cure-all for that kind of stuff. But they do have absorption qualities. Any curtain will really. Even thinner blackout curtains will reduce some high frequency flutter. So these ones are extra layered. It's a company called Moondream. You can find them on Amazon. They have a bunch of different fabric types and colors and length options and stuff. They're pretty good. I've used them in quite a few studios now. But again, it's not going to be a perfect solution. I would often recommend supplementing that into a bigger system. So have blackout curtains for the windows or those Moondream acoustic curtains plus acoustic panels. If you're doing just talking head, or just voiceover work, kind of like how I'm talking to you now, you could probably get away with a couple of those curtains, but you might still have some issues with some low frequency stuff. So I always recommend having at least a few acoustic panels, especially if you're doing music stuff. You're probably going to need bass traps and whatnot, but it does depend. It really does depend. But yes, those products are out there and some of them are pretty good. Yeah. So last question, how do I stop noise from getting out of my room? I want to turn my room into a studio, but I don't know how to stop noise from getting out, so I don't bother my family with recording and producing. Found some topics on the internet about the door being the main problem. His walls are solid, many methods to fix it. Yeah, okay. So quite a few things to unpack there. Kind of like the first question, so soundproofing is an extremely difficult task. A lot of construction, a lot of mass. So if you're working in a small space, there's not much you can do. What you're kind of referencing with the door, yes, there's a few weak points. When I'm looking at soundproofing a space, there are levels to it. So my entry level, I call it gaps and cracks, where you're just sealing all of the things you can seal to try to reduce a little bit of the noise. But it's not exactly guaranteed to stop a bunch of it, but it does help a little bit. So basically, the problem with doors, a lot of standard, the construction grade doors, they're hollow core. They're basically cardboard. They do very, very little in terms of stopping sound from room to room. So I've seen some guys try to fill them with sand or try to like do like acoustic foam inside of them and stuff. It gets a little messy. It doesn't really help that much. So yes, replacing the door actually with a solid core door is a pretty good idea. It's not too expensive in comparison to the rest of the soundproofing stuff that you would want to do, but it would help. Measurably, it's difficult to say, but it does help, especially if you replace the door, add a threshold like a door sweep to the bottom so there's no gap underneath, and then also seal the door frame itself. So you want to get, like they have this stick-on like foam that you could put on like on the doorstop. That'll like, once you close the door, there's like a full seal on it. So that's a good solution too. You just got to be mindful of airflow, because a lot of times that like gap under the door is like for HVAC purposes, so air can escape out of the room. So if you don't have an actual vent that takes the hot air or cold air, whatever you want to say, out of the room, then you might have some airflow issues. So it's not as easy as just closing it up, but usually that's not a problem. It's just something to think about. So yeah, dealing with the door, it's a good place to start. Even though your walls are solid, there's no telling what's actually in the walls. They could be hollow, so that's not going to help you too much. And it does depend on your music too. So if you're doing electronic music, maybe you just do a lot of stuff in headphones, maybe okay. But if you're a drummer, I don't think I got to say anything. I mean, sorry. Yeah, that's what I got for you today. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you want to learn more about acoustics specifically, I actually have a free PDF guide in my home studio success system. I'll link that below as well. You can go access that immediately and learn more about studio acoustics, soundproofing, stuff like that. So yeah, go check that out, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.